You're listening to the Unlocking Africa podcast.
I'm a graduate from the University of Media, Art and Communication. I'm writing my first book titled The Shoemaker Girl. Some policies don't really help us, like the introduction of the e-levy tax. Somebody is buying and paying by electronic means, and no matter how much they will pay, it will affect you. And I know some people, the journey is not easy. No matter how you find yourself, the journey will not be that easy. But there's something called resilience. You need to have that spirit. We also want to change people's misconception when it comes to Ghana made. People think it's expensive, think it's low quality, but we have quality product made in Ghana by Ghanaian artisans.
Stay tuned as we bring you inspiring people who are unlocking Africa's economic potential. You're listening to the Unlocking Africa podcast with your host, Tessa Adamu.
Welcome to the Unlocking Africa podcast, where we find amazing people who are doing amazing things to unlock Africa's economic potential. Today, we have Edna Frimpong, who is an award-winning entrepreneur and author popularly known as the Shoemaker Girl and is thriving in a male-dominated shoemaking industry. Welcome to the podcast, Edna.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here.
It's fantastic to have you here, and I'm looking forward to our conversation because it's a very unique story that you have. So I'm sure our guests will get a lot of value from your experience and your journey so far.
Exactly.
But before we get started, I was hoping you could introduce yourself and tell us a bit more about Edna Frimpong.
Thank you once again. My name is Edna Frimpong. But simply put, the Shoemaker Girl. I make shoes and sell shoes. The brand name, the company was Ahofade, where we made Ghanaian products, the shoes, the bag, the jewelry, the smock, and we are promoting and projecting more of the Ghana made good. At the same time, we are empowering and promoting the Ghanaian craftsmanship as well. I'm a graduate from the University of Media, Art and Communication, and I'm also a TEDx speaker and written my first book titled The Shoemaker Girl, which summarizes my journey, my experiences in shoemaking, my whole life journey up to where I am and my becoming. So basically, that's the Shoemaker Girl.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. So you've given us great insight into your professional and personal life and journey, which has brought you to where you are now. So I was hoping you could share with us how you were first introduced to the world of shoemaking.
So I entered into shoemaking. First of all, my dad is a professional shoemaker for over 20 years, and he's still in the business. And I had the chance to grow up with my dad, so I got to learn the art from him. So when I was going to secondary school, high school, I remember I bought the glue, the leather, the glue, the hammer, just to mend people's sandals for them whenever their sandals got torn on campus. And I was thinking of just playing around or just trying to get a means of survival so that I can get some coins for transportation back home when this vacation. I didn't know I'll end up in the industry like this fully. It was just something I was just helping out my dad, just playing around something like a hobby. I didn't know it was something that will bring me mileage, something that will pay bills, something that will pay fees, something that will put me on the spotlight.
Amazing. So as you said, your dad is a shoemaker and you were introduced to the industry via your dad. And you saw it as a means of survival and almost as a hobby. So how did you make the decision to turn this hobby into a career and actually embed yourself into the shoemaking industry, especially being a female in a male-dominated industry?
So the environment I grew up, or the area, there were a lot of shoemakers around. And so they didn't really have to look down on you. And they are always at the shop. They were guys, but then we had the shop. So I never had that negative vibe or stigma of me entering into that industry. And then again, I was working. But then when I lost my job, COVID time, and there was nothing I could do, I said, let me go back to this thing. Let me go and make business out of this professional-wise. Because that's the only thing I could rely on at that moment. So that was when I resort to that to pay then I was still in school. So I had to resort to that. I go to school on Saturday, Sunday, and I go to work on Mondays to Friday. So Monday to Friday to school, to work, and the weekend for school, so that I could be able to pay fees and all that.
Brilliant. So I guess during your journey in this industry, what have been some of the, challenges that you faced from being a shoemaker to actually launching your brand and then marketing the brand so it's become quite widely recognized and known?
So personal challenges, I hardly had that, especially from the other gender. I normally get the buzz rather instead of the negative vibe. Maybe they don't tell me personally. Maybe they'll say it in their own rooms. That what is she doing? People normally just buy because of the female attire or the female tag. Oh, she's a girl. She's a lady. Let me try and get clothes. Let me try and buy from her. So I get that attack than the negative vibe. Maybe they don't tell me. They might say it in their secret rooms, which I don't mind. Some also, when they're buying a thing, sometimes they feel skeptical until they see the finished product. Then they begin to accept who you are actually. But most of the time, the challenges come from external influences, the system we live in, the country, the governance, the policies. Today, you go to the market, there's inflation of prices of materials, and you can't increase prices of products for clients every day. But that's the reality, and so you're always at loss. So that's one. And then so you could talk about now, some policies don't really help us, like the introduction of the e-levy tax. Somebody is buying and paying by electronic means, and they're supposed to have to pay more because of the taxes that they're going to take. So the person will have to either pay more of the product or less. And no matter how much they will pay, it will affect you. Because imagine sending 1K to someone and you have to take you extra 10 cedis out of it. That 10 cedis can buy you porridge, breakfast in the morning. Trust me. So the system is not favorable. Trust me. It's not favorable for startups. Somebody is done with school, there's no job, and the person just wants to start selling using social media. And now they started taxing you on social, just using that platform to also sell something and get something to eat. So everywhere you find yourself, the system will fish you out. Now we have a physical showroom where our finished products are. We have filed our taxes in Nigeria. Young people trying to set up business to take care of ourselves and employ people and the society. You're not going to start paying taxes. And that's a huge lot. And this is some of the things that discourage people from entering businesses. Business in Ghana in Africa is not a joke. Trust me.
Yes, I agree. So I guess from your perspective, what do you think can be done from a government perspective to make the business environment more enabling for startups and SMEs such as yourself?
I keep telling people that I don't really expect so much from the government, but I feel like they should just make the system favorable for us. If you're not helping me, you're not doing anything for me. I just love my peace, but then make the system favorable for some of us so that we can thrive well. We're done with school, there's no job. We are only managing on Instagram, LinkedIn to survive. Why do you also have to bring in your tax in there? So the data, now we've been taxed on Momo, whatever, you get taxed. You go to the market to go and buy things. There's always increment of, I don't know if it's from them, sometimes it's from the citizens, but you don't have any much to say. But every day and then, and the things we ship them from outside. The materials we don't buy from here. It's not manufactured here in Ghana. Some of them, the glue, the leathers, all are shipped. So imagine the cost. So they also come and they also put bunch on it. Unless you have them in bulk, which one, it saves you a lot. But if you don't have them in bulky, and you need to go and buy them every week or day, every day, that's a whole job. So I just want the system to be okay for us. Now, the issue of the e-levy was to solve a cost, and now they couldn't solve the cost, and now the e-levy, they couldn't even achieve it, and it's still there. And it's just taking money, and there's nothing up to. They're not making use of their own money. That's there. That's one. And I mean, I don't like talking about governments because it gets me irritated. But then I just want the system to be favorable for us. I mean, they're not going to give us tax waivers, but they give people tax waivers because you're not there yet. They'll tell you there are other social intervention programs they bring in to help the citizens. But trust me, when you go in there and it's just for the few. You can go in for the formality, but when you get there, it's just the few that benefits from that social intervention policies or the things they brought out. about to help the entrepreneurs, but you go in there and just for a few. There are some systems when you apply for fellowship or funding, it's just open. Everybody can get it. But trust me, they'll tell you there's a funding somewhere, you just apply it. You have to go through the stress.
So if we look at the positives, one of the things you mentioned is that you use social media to market your products. In my introduction, I think I forgot to mention that you have a BA in communication with a focus on public relations. So how have you used or leveraged this background in public relations and communications to tell your unique story and build your brand?
So I believe that we don't go to school because of the money. We go to school for knowledge base. And how you're able to transfer your knowledge to whatever you're doing is what is the value of that gives the essence of the value of education, being able to transfer of knowledge. So wherever you find yourself, anything that you did in school, it's all about transfer of knowledge. So yeah, I found myself in an shoemaking industry. The only thing I did communication or PR communication. And there's a lot that goes in there. We did marketing, we did advertising, branding, a lot, how to communicate, how to tell story and all that. And I have all this knowledge. And as a first class student, why would I waste this knowledge? We are always downplaying first class in this country, in our society. Am I supposed to look for, somebody's thinking you're supposed to go and look for a fine PR company and be working there with your first class. But I'm not getting that. What I could do is to transfer my knowledge, whatever I learned to get that grade. So the marketing, the branding, advertising, everything I did, that's what I'm trying to apply. So when you see me or whatever I do on LinkedIn, it's because of what I. So when people ask me, what you do? I said, okay, you did PR communication. So, no wonder. So they think what I did in school is that I was able to transfer that in marketing my business. So what I do on LinkedIn is to tell my story. I've been authentic with people. And so now when you're looking for a shoe to buy, you don't necessarily have to go to Instagram. When you're LinkedIn and you're thinking about shoes, my name comes to mind. And that's the essence of branding. That's how I've been able to position myself in the minds of people. When you're looking for a shoe, the shoemaker girl, you think about LinkedIn because there's a lady there who you can get shoe from.
And I agree. Your ability to tell a story and market and brand yourself is why we are having this conversation today.
Exactly. Exactly.
As we connected via LinkedIn, I've been following your story and your journey, and I thought, you know what, this is a fantastic person, woman, inspiration, someone who I think a lot of people can learn a lot from. Your ability to tell a story has also led you to writing your book, The Shoemaker Girl, which has gained a lot of attention. So what was the motivation behind writing the book?
So motivation. So I keep telling people, or especially the youth, that you don't have to get to 60 years old before you should write that book. You don't have to be 80 years before you are telling us your experiences for us to learn. No matter how young you are, you have something to share. You have a knowledge to share to someone. And I keep telling those who work in the corporate space, that bosses, that if the young ones are given the opportunity in the offices as part of the dominant coalition, those who take decision, they are part of such board, I think, or even in governance, if there are young people who are part, who can also contribute their quota, I think that there will be a shift in governance or in a society, because we are only not meant for TikTok or for Instagram and LinkedIn. We're also meant to be there. So that's the motion, the rationale. I have something to share. I have some experiences thriving in a male-dominated industry. I have something to share as someone born, raised, and having 13 siblings, having been able to go to school myself, juggling that with education and still come up as a first-class graduate with a very good GPA standing. That is not easy. Somebody can get inspiration from that. Somebody can learn one or two things from my principle. Nobody can succeed without having values. You need to be bounded by values. And I have how did I use my leverage to my becoming? Somebody needs to hear that or need to see that. And I think that I didn't have to get 40 years or 50 before I can let the young ones to also learn. Now I can. So anytime I have an idea and I want to put it across, I'm going to put it into a book and release it.
Amazing. So what was the journey like writing the book? What was the process? How long did it take?
So I had the idea, but I wasn't sure of putting it down. I'm so strong when it comes to relationship, the people you surround yourself with. So I told one of my friends, I want to write a book. And he said, write it. He said, hey. So I have it I've created a WhatsApp page where I put the set information down. And I think I had the book on my laptop, written it down, but I wasn't done. And I'll still go back to this, my friend said, write it, you need to. So I had it, but I didn't know, and I had everything written down. And one day I talked to one of my friends, a friend pushed me. So I sat down and I finished up all. And I think writing the book was like a therapeutic moment for me. I had to heal a lot from background, from experiences I faced and all that. I healed a lot. I cried through that process. I was okay, that's I'm done. So now I'm done. I needed someone to fine-tune it and an editor to go through to a third eye to view it. I needed forward for mentors and all that. And then I didn't want to launch it physically because I was maybe because I wasn't having faith or believe in myself back then. So I went to a hospital, one of my doctor friends, and I said, I want to write a book. I just want to launch it online. And he was like, no, it has to be physical. Well, the kind of pedigree you are, the kind of people who trust you, we need to do physical launch. And so the people around me, when I contacted my sister, she's like, we need to do physical. And she handled the coordination. And I had a friend on LinkedIn. I mean, almost the people that handled the book are from LinkedIn. The book cover was a lady on LinkedIn. The editor was a lady from LinkedIn. And everything that happened in the book was I wasn't having money, but people made it happen. The venue was a friend from LinkedIn free, the book cover, the editing, the coordinating, everything was done free from people I just met. And some I just met on LinkedIn. I haven't met before. Some I have met them before the book launch. So yeah, they all came together, planning and all that, strategy, everything together. Say, make sure you put this book out there. And on the 18th of May, I said, I had to release the book. And God showed up, seeing as young as I am. In our part of the country, it's difficult to get people coming for book launch because people don't like reading. But people had to show up. The place was full. People had to stand. Yes, and I was able to hit my sales target for the day. And after the book launch, every day, at least I get to make a sale from the book. I've been touring in around schools and I've been sharing some of the books to students there because apart from just selling the books or people reading the book to be inspired, another thing is that a percentage of the book sale goes into making a shoe for a shoeless child. And that campaign is termed as Shoe for the Shoeless. So any copy, we have a target that in the communities in Ghana that kids don't have good shoes to go to school. If you're not having good shoes to go to school, that is we are not really working towards the agenda, the SDG goal of quality education. If you don't have good school shoes to wear, how do you go to school and get quality education? Some also get sicknesses like there's a sickness called neuropathic palsy, which affects the feet. And I'm trying to make sure I solve these two issues. And I can do that through the book. So you just don't read the book. When you get a copy, a percentage goes into that, to solving that child's need. And it's been an amazing journey. And trust me, the next book will come, but not now. But now it's to make the impact.
Yes, I think you can definitely have a plan for the future in terms of the next book because the impact of this book has been a huge impact. What I would say is this definitely shows the power of the internet and the power of connecting in terms of your journey of putting the book together and actually publishing the book. What value would you say you have gained from writing the book?
I think mindset. You need to have the right mindset towards anything you are doing. Trust me. I remember the day before the book launch and the weeks before that, those who have promised to come, when they'll call, nah, I'm sick. Sorry, I can't make it. And all that, my friend would tell me, imagine that those people who call it, they are saying they cannot make it. Imagine that the room is full and those people are complaining that they won't come. They are going out from their seat and those who are standing are occupying the seat. And so that was the game changer. So even that day when I was at the venue auditorium, clean the place, someone called, Edna, have a bad news. What's that? I can't hear. It's okay. Then I cut the phone. I sit somewhere and I continue arranging the place with my sister. And I was just focused on, okay, thank God you have just moved out from your seat. Someone is occupying the space. So I'm okay. And that's exactly that what happened. Everything played out there. Everything. So our minds, anything that happens physical happens in your mind. Anything is built twice in your mind and physical. So if you think poverty, you will be poor. If you think rich, you'll be poor. If you think successful, you'll be successful. So I envisioned that. And everything played out there well. Everything played out the world perfectly. And so I believe that anything you are entering in, any project you have in mind, any business, you need to go in with the right mindset. And the people around, you need to get correct people around. I remember before the book launch, I had to pray into the book launch. And I had people joining me pray into the book launch. The whole week, we pray every single day. People, some I don't know from anywhere, they join, pray into the program. Some, the one who coordinate the program had to take in and make sure we get the best program and the best value or the excellence on that day. I had people, we had to do a dress rehearsal because we were not close, where our physical environment couldn't allow us to meet somewhere far from away. We need to do physical meeting, to do a dress rehearsal of what will happen on that day. And getting people who will leave their job, will leave whatever they are doing just to be on call, to focus on your destiny or your vision. It has to be God. And so I value relationship a lot because the cheapest currency on earth is human beings. They are the cheapest way of making you survive in this world, succeed in this world. So I don't joke with that. So relationship was key. It's something I've taken out of it. And in my next book, I'm going to work on that. Because imagine after the book launch, see what happened. That within that week, everybody was talking about it on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And it got the attention of a media, one of the biggest media house, Joy FM, and one of their Let's Bill called me and interviewed me. When he called me, he said, I see your book around. People are typing your book on LinkedIn. And that's why my manager asked me to call you so that we have an interview on Joy FM. And it got people's attention to even get people had to buy their book. They don't keep, when somebody buy your book, the person can either give you a review or not. People read the book. When they get a book, they post it. And when they are done reading it, they had to also post it to get you that review. And that review will get somebody to also come and buy. And I didn't beg them for that review. They do it from their own willingness. And that shows how people can be. The gift of men is such a powerful thing. And I thank God for granting me gift of men.
Amen and congratulations. So, what key messages or themes can readers expect to take away from the book?
So key one is resilience. Resilience, because the journey wasn't smooth. And I know some people, the journey is not easy. No matter how you find yourself, the journey will not be that easy. But there's something called resilience. You need to have that spirit that keeps you going, even when things looks like going down, because it was tough at a certain point. But the only thing that kept me going was resilience. I was just resilient. I mean, I have that resilient mentality, hustler. I had to hustle. I mean, I have nobody. I know where I was coming from. So where I was coming from was just pushing me and pushing me there. So that was one. That's one. And I talk about redefining your own path or your own success. We live in a society where we are being given a template of what to do or what to go by. Do this. Unless you have a car, you have a house, you are married, and not successful. That's the mentality of being successful here in this part of the world. But I think success differs from everybody. If we are able to view it that way, if you have your own template of success. Maybe your template is go to school, do this. My template is to do this job and all blah blah blah. When you see me progressing, you will not envy me because you know your template, and I have my template. But because society gives us a template, that's why the pressure comes in on young girls. Pressure comes in when everybody's wearing the Brazilian hair, the bone straight hair. I need to also get some because that's how the society has projected successful to me. But it shouldn't be the case. So when you read a book, you get to redefine your own success, that you can become whoever you want to become. I keep telling people, have you seen a shoemaker who is a TEDx speaker, a shoemaker who is a first-class student, a shoemaker who is a graduate in that, of course, and a shoemaker who is going global, a shoemaker who is now. I do a lot of public speaking engagement, get to speak with people, schools, churches, and all that, just to share, to inspire and motivate them that it's possible. They can also do that. It's not easy to get people there. So that's because I've couched my part. So you, the reader, you can also couch your part. Whatever you are doing, just focus on and do it well.
Great insight. So you mentioned one of the key themes that readers can take from the book is resilience. So if we look at your work outside of writing the book, what have been some of the most pivotal experiences or moments during your journey as an entrepreneur?
I mean, when you get to do a lot of contract, like sometimes the work, you don't get much sales coming in every day, but sometimes you get a lot. And one of my biggest contracts I got was last year. I mean, it was so huge. Produced a lot of like 230 pieces of shoes.
Wow.
For an academy, and it's a very big academy. You know, some people, when you're buying something and it's in bulk, they will ask for reduction. But these people had to pay, like, the price you just give them, that's what they're paying. Some people do have to bargain and you don't even have to get even one city out of it. But they understand what we are doing. And maybe because they also want to protect, project, and also to support. But then it was a good cause. And it has become a ritual that every year they're going to produce for them. And that's something I'm always happy. And it was because of the power of LinkedIn. So I don't joke with LinkedIn. It has been a blessing. And one of the defining moments is me being on LinkedIn has shaped my entrepreneurship journey, connecting to a lot of great people. My mentor in Germany was also a shoemaker and all that. So I'm doing so well and I'm thriving well and I'm becoming a better person because of my exposure or me finding myself on LinkedIn. Be reading from expert, reading from people from my industry, connecting with people from my industry and not from my industry, being able to project myself unashamedly to sell what I have and to get people from buying.
Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned one of the most pivotal moments was making this huge sale. So I'm assuming you made this sale through Ahofade, which is the e-commerce fashion marketplace that you sell the designs from Ghanaian fashion designers and also your shoes through.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how did the idea for this e-commerce fashion marketplace come about?
Okay, so first of all, it's not only about e-commerce because we have physical shop and we even want to expand more to other African countries and even in US as well and UK. So it's not just e-commerce. The e-commerce is just there for those who are not able to, who want to purchase from outside the country and even those here want to. We also just leverage on the digital era.
Yes.
But so Ahofade is a key word, local word, which means like things wearable. So your from head to toe, your dresses, your shoes. So when you come to the shop, or even when you check on our website, Ahofade.com, we have shoes, we have smocks made by Ghanaian artisan, we have jewelries, we have bags, and all these are things we use to dress ourselves. So that's where the name came from, Ahofade. Ahofade. And we have people who make all these Ghanaian products, which we showcase because we want to project more of the Ghanaian people. And we also want to change people's misconception when it comes to Ghana made. People think it's expensive, but they buy more expensive things. People think it's not quality, but we have quality product. So when you see our product, you'll be like, is this a Ghanaian product? Yes, made in Ghana by Ghanaian artisans. So we want to change that misconception people have about made in Ghana product, it being expensive, it being not quality, and all that.
So as you mentioned, you want to change people's perception of made in Ghana products. So what are some of the unique talents and creativity of Ghanaian fashion designers that I guess Ahofade aims to highlight?
Yeah, that's one is quality. So when you come to my shop and you pick a shoe or you pick any of our product, you would see how quality it is. You will have no complaints to make. Recently, one of our riders went to deliver a shoe to someone who was a very big company. And the man we see the shoe, the man loved the shoe because it was such a short time frame. And the man was like, the rider told the man that since he started working with us, nobody has received our shoe and complained before. And that was a big testimony to the man. The delivery guy just said that he has never had a complaint that. So when it comes to quality, somebody came to the shop and he heard the shoe. He was like, this shoe is good. It's a very quality. He wants to buy for their wife. But he was complaining of the price. It wasn't that expensive, but he was complaining because he thinks that Ghana made should be that cheap. You expect to be cheap and to be that quality. You know, we have that mentality, but we don't buy outside things and complain that much. So I think it's the perception. So the quality stands out, and then comfortability. I don't want to get you something that you wear and you not feel comfortable in it. You need to wear shoes and feel confident and feel comfortable in that. You need to wear a smocks, feel comfortable and feel stylish and be confident in that. And that's something we strive to make. Especially, we don't want to compromise on the quality. If it's not good, we'll not give it to you. We'll put it down and it will be at our own loss. But that's okay, then you taking it out.
So through Ahofade and what you do in terms of selling the products of Ghanaian fashion designers, how else do you support local entrepreneurs in the fashion industry?
Okay, so one is some of the products in our shop are made by people, Ghanaian fashion designers. We pay them for that when they make it. And one way or the other, that's a way of sort of living. So you don't just become a dependent on someone. You become self-reliant on your own. You don't become a cost to the society and the country. You become self-dependent. So yeah, we pay them for making the bags, the smokes, and all that. And that's a way of solving unemployment issue, easing the country and even the individual person as well. We also employ people. I'm being employed there. I get paid, even though it's not that much because we are getting as a startup. I get paid. All the people that work on that, the graphic designer is really important, and all that. Everybody gets something paid for that every month, and that's a way. It's better than doing national service in Ghana and getting paid here. So you get something to take care of yourself at the end of the month. And yeah, we are open more to take Ghanaians who have the skill in doing amazing stuff to put their product on our website, in our shops, and sell them.
So it's clear that you're doing amazing work through Ahofade. I know when you're not making shoes or involved in business activities, you also love to share your experience to help build the next generation. So I guess from your perspective or from your opinion, what do you believe mentorship and coaching, what role do they play in empowering the next generation of African entrepreneurs?
Well, I think they have their role to play. You know, the basis of everything starts from the family. But sometimes some people don't come from that family that gives them all. We are not fortunate to come from that. So you need someone to guide you. My pastor would say, you look for somebody and you model that person. You don't want the marriage you're experiencing in the family, your parents' marriage. You look for a marriage that you want to model. You don't want the kind of life your family are living. You look for someone and model, and that's how mentorships comes in. Well, I didn't get that growing up. Just lucky that I had trained for my father, I stayed with him. But it's not all of my father's character I picked. I just picked the shoemaking part because I think that will help me. But even in terms of business, I didn't pick that because if I had picked that, I wouldn't get into where I'm getting to because 20 good years and we had nothing to show off. People who had to look down at us anyhow. But he had a skill. So skills is never enough. You need to have the attitude towards work. Business, when it comes to business, you don't mix family with that. You need to learn the character and all that. And I believe that's where the mentorship comes in, getting somebody to guide you, finances, and all that. So fortunately, once I was growing, I had to look for people to model. I may not be direct contact with you, but I can look from you from afar and learn from you. Until recently that we're also getting someone to mentor us well, to be on a good path, to still train. And even now, I look for people. So wherever I fall short from, I get people that can help me. My finances, I have a sister who is so good in, is an investor, and she comes in and she helped me do this and all that. And I'm so good in that area now. In terms of morale and all that, you get people to help you, which is very important. Same way is good for our young people. You know, especially our communities that we grew up, where I came out from, where I grew up. If I tell you where I grew up, you will not believe it because my environment never shaped who I am, never played a major role in in my life. But let me tell you, people, you become who you are, influenced based on your environment. But I was so careful. I was very careful on that. My environment never influences me. I grew up in environments, chocolate that we claim to be uneducated. You're not going to go far, you get pregnant, you give birth, and that's all. And that's the environment I grew up. And when I tell people I went to school out there, they don't believe that. And that's called transformation. Transformation, you don't born with it. You learn, you contend for that. And so when you get to speak with people, you realize that how people are lacking. Some they didn't get that. They are not getting that. So when they hear your story, Okay, you came from this environment, you grew up here. It gives them hope that they can also become a better version of themselves, a better person. They will not just end up like their parent or their sibling. They can also become better people. Somebody that's just looking for that one word to push them out of their comfort zone. Somebody's doing something, dancing, doing a bag, but the person is looking down on him or herself because she think it's just for the male people, it's just for the female. Until he hear your story. Oh, if she's able to do that, a shoemaker girl, be able to go to school with that, finish, and even want to go to school again, doing TEDx speaker, climbing stages and talking to people. How? Then it's possible that I can also become whoever I want to become. And that's just that. I know that people say the talking is too much, yeah. But someone there just needs a little voice, be able to get out from that comfort zone and do something of your life. So it's good. It's important now that we need to show, because if they don't do that, a generation or the generation coming will be doomed. They need people to guide them, to direct their path. It's really important.
Great advice. So if we look specifically at, say, young people, young women who would want to enter the shoemaking or, say, the broader fashion industry, what advice would you give to them?
I keep telling people, start anyway. You can't forget it all. In the journey, when you are becoming, you can just learn through the process. So don't wait to figure everything. Don't wait to get a millions before you start. You have the skill. Now we are so much fortunate. We have social media at our disposal. Start with that. You can make the shoe. Start with your social media. Create that account and start building your personal brand from there. You don't need money. You don't need anything there to create social media account. Just show up. Show up. Me, I showed up without having a shop. I just showed up on social media and told the people, the world, what I do, what I stand for. And when I got the money, I got the small mileage, I leverage on that, and we are making an empire from a little lemon that we had. So you don't need to have it all, figure it all before you start. Start what you have. Get people in your industry that you can model, you can learn from. Learn from them. It's not competition. Just learn from them. Admit your shortcomings and learn from people, and just leverage on their learning and all that, and move on and be who you are. No, let God be your guide. Don't just jump into a business and just ask God, is that your path? If it's your path, you will flourish. You can sell pen and still become a billionaire. I know people who just sell supply paint and they're billionaires. It's not about the job you do, it's about a grace that is backing you. So ask God for that. And is what you're doing is in line with your purpose. Trust me, you will flourish there. You can be hidden, but you still be a billionaire.
You touched on a key point there, which is show up and do what you do and show what you stand for. Learn from others. Don't follow trends. But I guess, speaking of trends, are there any trends in Ghana's fashion industry that you're seeing right now that you're currently excited about?
Yeah, we have to. We need to. Change is important. Any business that does not accept change will not last. You need to be innovative to be able to stay in the system for long. And the change also comes based on the preference of the audience. And so you need to consider all that in our decision making, in our products, in everything that we take.
Where do you see Ghana or Africa's fashion industry in 5 years' time in terms of the impact small or independent designers as yourself will have on the industry?
We should be going global, but we still maintain our root. I believe in that. We don't have to just go global and drop our root. We have to go global. Our product has to be seen all over. Our designs, our product has to be. So the way we talk about certain brands and we're just all over, that's how we're supposed to mention Ahofade, and the whole world has to know about that. And it would take time, but trust me, we will get there. That's why we have the technology at our advantage. We can leverage on that. I know people who are just in their rooms and their brands are all over. Why? Because they're leveraging on technology. We can leverage on it well. We have AI now doing amazing stuff. And you have no excuse to fail in this generation as somebody in the fashion industry. Well, my shoe for the shoeless project I have, I'm coming up with a shoe for the kids, and I want that shoe to be the shoe that it has nobody's design. But then we are using AI to help us create that, come up with that design. And my designer is doing that. See the kind of designs we can come up with. And it's amazing. Some of the designs we've come up with, we just have to make a little switch to it when we bring it to life and all that. When we are done and we show the people, this is the design we make for them and this is the shoe they are wearing, it's something that people are going to love it. And so we need to just embrace technology, leverage on that and show up. And in years to come, I expect that more brands, and I know there are a lot of people, fashion brands, doing so much well in the system globally, African brands. And I wish that we get more mileage and show up and do whatever you want to do and just conquer the world, because we are contributing a lot to the development of the country. When we go to tourism, we find ourselves there. In entertainment, we are there because the dresses that you need to wear on stage, it's our industry. Where the musicians need us, the actresses need us. When you're on TV, the dress you are wearing need to project your country, and we are everywhere. You can't take us out. So yeah,
I agree. So if we look closer to home, where do you see yourself and Ahofade in 5 years' time? What role or impact do you hope to have on the Ghanaian fashion industry?
Ahofade, we will train more people. We will have a shoe academy, because we realize that we don't have any shoe academy in Ghana. So we have to have that and train more people, and to expand to other African countries and even beyond African. And personally, the shoemaker girl, like I always say, school locally but globally minded. Climb more bigger stages to share my experiences to the younger ones and to people, to let them know that it is possible. Whatever they can do, they can still shine, they can still go global. And again, locally schooled, globally minded, I want to go global. So in everything that I need to do, my intentional art of going global, I am on it and I'm still on it, and I'm definitely going to go global. With all my activities, my small steps, my intentional subtle act will take me there one day, and it will become a household name. So when you take Ahofade, it's a business on its own. When we take Shoemaker Girl, it's a personal brand on its own.
Amen. And I look forward to seeing that happen.
Thank you.
Quote of the week.
As people, we often have quotes, mantras, proverbs, or affirmations that keep us going when times are challenging or when times are good. Do you have one that you can share with us today?
So at any times I feel overwhelming, things are not going as I want and all that, there's one thing I keep telling myself. And now relax. You see, it's a season. Everything will pass. Everything will pass. Nothing is static in this world. Everything will pass through. So you are crying today, you will not cry tomorrow. So if something happens, this thing will pass. Let me leave it and sleep. It will pass. So just when there's a situation, don't be overwhelmed and just take decision. Don't rush in decision making. It's any important decision you need to take in life, do not ever rush through it. Just calm down, relax, and take time in your decision. If you rush, you'll be doomed. So anytime I'm so overwhelmed and things are going astray, I just sleep all right. I know it will pass. It's just a season. It will just pass by. So when you have that mentality, it will just keeps you going. Anything you are so overwhelmed, things are happening, you know that it's just a season. It will pass by. The good times will pass. The bad times will pass. All you have to do is what you do in that season will determine either you stand strong or not. And so when the sadness comes, you just go maneuver through. You just enjoy yourself through that. When the good times comes, you enjoy yourself through that. That's how life's supposed to be. You don't have to kill yourself, cry yourself out. Just let the season pass and just enjoy the moment. Every moment counts.
Fantastic, extremely profound and meaningful words and pieces of advice. We've come to the end of this great conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was wondering, do you have any closing remarks, final calls to action for people who might be interested in the shoemaking industry or just interested in the work that you're doing at Ahofade?
Thank you for everyone. My company and I are open for any partnership, investment, and all that. We just sit down. If it will benefit us, why not? If you want to, just go away. We are open up for any business opportunities or anything that is of good that will help benefit all of us. And yes, my book is still selling. If you want to be empowered, you want to support a good cause, why not? You get a book and also redefine your own success. If the shoemaker girl is able to make it, if the shoemaker girl is a TEDx speaker, is a first class student, is doing so well in her industry, it's possible that you too, you can also achieve whatever you want to do. Any industry you find yourself, it's possible you can also become. You can go global with that. Thank you.
Edna, thank you for joining us today and sharing your amazing, inspiring journey as the shoemaker girl. You can feel your dedication in terms of empowering the youth, supporting local talent in Ghana, and we wish you continued success.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone who has listened and stayed tuned to the podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, or tell a friend about it. You can also rate, review us in Apple Podcasts or wherever you download your podcast. Thank you and see you next week for the Unlocking Africa podcast.